Hey everyone, so today I got my Quadlock handlebar mount installed for my iPhone. I've got the case, and then I also added the wireless charger accessory. And as you can see here, it looks pretty good. Installation was not too bad, except I got some stuff on my handlebars there. But ran the wire down through here and then under the tank, as you'll see later. And that just plugs in right there. So far so good. Just tried it out a little bit, and working out pretty well. One of the reasons I'm going to do that is that I've got a GoPro that's going to mount right here where the mirror usually goes, and so I wanted to have some room to have the GoPro and the phone if I needed it without it being in the way of the controls. So that should work out pretty well. But ran it off to the side, and then that did turn this sideways. You can move it the other way if you want. It locks like this. Push it on. It's on there. It's on there tight, not going anywhere. And then you just need to reach back behind and push down and twist again. It pops up. You're just pushing this part down right here. So if I wanted to, I could turn that sideways. Might be a little bit easier to get there, but I kind of like how it goes vertical this way. Looks a little better on the handlebars for me. I ended up not using a lot of the footage that I did installing this. You can find it on Quadlock's website. It's going to be a lot better than I did, but I ended up using the 22 millimeter spacer. There's three that come with it. I used the biggest one, the 22 millimeter one, and that's what fit on the bars the best. I tried a couple of different ways, mounting it maybe down here, but that got in the way of the handlebar bracket there. And so I'm going to try this out and see how it works, but I think it's going to go pretty well the way it is. The only bad thing is you got the wire here, but on my old one, and I'll try to see if I can find my old one, it was the bicycle mount. And I put maybe 10,000 miles on that thing and just it attached with a rubber band, and I didn't know any better, and it worked just fine. So I'm thinking this is going to be even beefier and even better.
Alright, now time to actually put the mount on the bike. First things first, do not get the fork stem mount. It will not fit. It does not clear the handlebar, so you can't get it in the hole there. Maybe you could take the handlebars off and be able to mount it, but I don't think it would still clear when you put the handlebar back on. So don't get that, just get the handlebar mount like I have here. So just got it all mounted up. I ended up moving it around later on, but that's the nice part about this mount, you can change it up. And I just wanted to see how the cable bend would be, and it looks pretty good from here. Happy with it. Now once you have that on and you figure out how you want to mount it up, you just need to take the tank cover off. And then once that's done, and I have a separate video for that, I'll put the link to that in the description. It's pretty intimidating the first time you do it, but this is the third or fourth time I've done it, and it gets easier and easier every single time, so don't worry about that. Alright, so I just wanted to make sure I had enough extra slack in the USB cable when I went to go plug it in. And as you can see here, I am just routing it where there's already previously routed cables. There's a big, thick, right, you can see right there, a thick wiring harness. So I just tried to follow that, and all the mounting clips and springs and things that are holding all those in, I just use that to keep the USB cable in line. I didn't have to use a lot of zip ties. I don't necessarily like using a lot of zip ties. It just makes it that much more difficult if you ever have to uninstall it. So I'm just trying to route it through where existing wiring and cables already are. You do run it right underneath there through the frame part right there, just to keep that clear. It's going to keep that clear of the handlebars and the forks. And you can see there is already a rubber band or that's holding the wires together. You can undo that, and you're going to see here I'm going to undo that and put the USB cable in with the bundle of the other wires there, and that works great. There's plenty of room. It stretches out. It's basically just a big rubber band with a button on it. And then I've got just making sure everything is secure. It's not going to shake loose. It's nice and tidy with all the other wires. The reason I went on the left side, as you can see later on, the way that the USB charger mounts on the battery, it's going to be pointed to the left side anyway. So then there's no weird bends or curves with the cable coming out there. Also just decided to kind of snake that around the existing wiring harness that goes to the controls. Again, so I didn't have to use any zip ties there, and it's plenty secure. There's plenty of play with the handlebars. There's nothing that's going to get in the way there. So everything just fits in really nicely if you just follow the existing routing of cables that are already there. Then once that's all done, I did test. Then it's time to put everything back on the bike. So here we go. Everything's back on. The cover's back on. Want to make sure everything is nice and tidy underneath the seat. And go ahead and take the cover off of the USB port. Plug that in. Got a nice bend, and there's not much room under the seat, but there is enough room to go ahead and tuck the wires away so it's all nice and secure. And the blue light at ignition tells us that we have power going to the charger, and let's take it on the road for a spin and test it out.
Yeah, one thing I'm noticing as I'm riding here is it does come out at you a little bit, and actually I like that because it's not so far away from you that it makes it harder to read. Everything on the phone is a lot smaller obviously than what's on the instrument, so having that little extra bit be closer to you is nice. I didn't think I was going to like it at first, but I'm actually liking that it's a little closer. I think the other thing I like, that if I don't like this angle or I don't like exactly where it is, I can switch it around and move it and swivel it a lot of different ways if I want to. If I want to move it up higher, move it down lower, even closer to the tank and out of the way. Alright, so that's been my review and installation of the Quadlock handlebar mount with the wireless charger. So thanks for watching.